Hello everyone. Thank you for joining me today at 2 o'clock for our next crafting countdown. We are doing 2 more cards today. One is a shaker card, which I'm super excited about because it's a little different from any other shaker card I've done. Usually my shaker cards are like, you know, the whole big thing, and we're going to do just like a little one today. Let me see if I can get right on up here. There we go. And again, I don't know if it's me or what, but for some reason my comments just don't show up until after the video goes away. So, but anyway, so we are still working on our 12 days of crafting advent calendar projects. And of course, this is Christmas, but none of the products in here are geared toward Christmas, which is fantastic. So we are doing a total of 12 projects for 6 days. It's the rest of the 3 days. So today is day 3. And then day 4, 5, and 6 will all just be uploaded to YouTube. And then I will turn over and share over on here on Facebook so that you can get it in 2 places. Because I know there are some people who are on YouTube, and then there are some people who are only on Facebook. So they'll be posted in both places so that you can have them. Yesterday's and today will be posted to YouTube as well for those that don't have Facebook. So anyway, let's dive into today's projects. I'm going to set those aside. And this is going to be our first card because day 5 is this little packet here. It is some masks for flowers, and there are 4 of them in here. They're kind of like little mini ones. So we're going to be using this, and then the other product that we're going to be doing is for day 6, and it's these little puffy stickers. So we're going to use the flowers and all of that. Now I've got a lot of them missing because we're going to do another shaker card. And that other shaker card is going to include a lot of other things from that little pack. So, and of course we are incorporating some of our former products as well. So let's dive in. Now I am going to just tell you before we get started, I'm not a huge fan of this. I guess brush would be what it's called because it is a brush. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it did work really well when I was trying to get the centers here in the flowers. So we will use that, but just know it's a little bit more difficult to use to put your big inking on there. Okay, so let's pull out our card base and products here. And we're going to go ahead and fold our card base in half. And then we're going to go ahead and put our designer series paper on. Now this designer series paper, this one is not from the kit or from the box. This is one that is from Floral Impressions. Yes, Floral Impressions, which is an online exclusive. So I am pulling in a little bit of products from outside of the box so we can create as well. All right, we're gonna attach this down. Let's make sure I get it all lined up. I don't know why. Let's see, I think I can get it off. It didn't line up. It's like crooked for some reason. Oh, okay, let's try that again. I'm gonna put some more adhesive right there to kind of help flatten it out. All right, let's line it up. Maybe like this. And see if we can get it to lay flat. There we go. Sometimes I gotta move it around to get it to work. All right, next layer is going to be our piece that we are going to do our blending brushes on. So I'm going to grab a piece of grid paper. I'm going to grab some tape as well. So you want to pull in tape for this, because what I'm going to do is we're going to start with this, and I'm going to kind of line it up with my grid paper just so I can kind of know where it's at. I'm going to take a pen and I'm just going to draw a line right there, okay? Because that just means that that's where I am putting it up to. And then we can do over there to make sure that it is straight, okay? Then we're going to take our tape here and I'll line that back up. And I'm just lining up the paper with my grid paper too. And because I am a messy blender, I am taping off the entire top so that I don't get it on my actual cardstock. We're going to do that on the bottom as well. All right, so now we have that all taped off. I am going to take my, I think it is Highland Heather first. Nope, yeah, Fresh Freesia, sorry. We're going to take Fresh Freesia first. We're going to take our blending brush for Fresh Freesia. And then we are going to blend into each of these places. And I do want it to be pretty dark. So just kind of re-ink it up. And it's okay for this to be dark because we're going to do a darker color on top of it. So it will definitely show since we're not using the same color. Now, just a quick little tip. You can use a baby wipe to clean these off, or you can stick them in your sink and just run water over them and they will clean right off. I just did mine with a baby wipe, but when you do it through the sink, you just lay it on a towel next to your sink and it'll be just fine. Okay, so that is one. So we're going to pull our tape off. And then we are going to add our second one. And we're going to line it up again on our grid paper. And it is going to be off a little bit as far as these dots because that is the look of it. But what you're trying to line up is you want to make sure you're lining up your flowers. That's where you can tell if you've done it right. All right. And this one is a little off-centered as well. That is the point of the flower. So you're lining up this one and this one. And as long as those are lined up and that those two right there, then you're in the right spot. Okay, so the next color we're going to do is Highland Heather. And we're going to ink it up. And see, it's a completely different purple. Fresh Fuchsia to me is kind of almost a purpley pink. But anyway, it's a different purple, so you're definitely going to get a good color difference with it. All right, and let's do our other two or three. Sometimes I feel like I'm not getting any ink with them, but I really am. It is definitely getting down there. All right, so that is two. And then we're going to take that off and do three. Oop. Okay, and three is going to be leaves. So we are going to change up our colors for sure now. All right, let me make sure I've got this lined up. All right, and then 3. And 3 is gonna look like nothing matches up with it, but I promise once you do the next one, it will. So the closest you really wanna do is that leaf right there coming out is gonna be separated a little bit, and then this is gonna kind of sneak out of it too, right there. Okay, so then we're gonna take our lemon lime twist first. We're going to ink that up. All right. My lemon lime twist has a lot of ink on the brush, and so I shouldn't have to re-ink it. There we go. All right, and now we're going to do our last one. It's going to be number 4. Get it lined up. And now you're going to see this is where you're going to line up your middle of your flowers. And then we're going to do another little trick because I don't want my flower circles to be green. So we are going to grab some more tape and we're going to tape off the centers of our circles. And you just want to make sure that you don't get it overlaying on your other leaves there. All right, so there we go. Now we're going to take some granny apple green. And we're going to ink up the other parts. And then once we do that, we can take off our tapes over our little pieces for our flower centers, if I can talk and figure out what words I'm going to say. All right, now we're going to take that little one, that little brush that came in the kit. We're going to take some Daffodil Delight. We're going to get it good and inked up. And then we're just going to brush it in the center. Of each flower. It's not necessarily the easiest brush to use, so I just want to make sure I get it good. All right, we'll stick that back in there. Now we're going to take all of this off, and I have protected not only my cardstock but my table. There we go. Okay, so there is that, and now we're going to do a little stamping around it because I wanted to make it a little fuller. So you'll see I've got all kinds of things here. So actually, let me pull back in that grid paper. I'm going to throw away that part there. Okay, so let's take, and you can see your different definitions here with your different color combinations as well. So let's start with our fresh freesia. Let's do that. And we're gonna stamp, let me put some of this stuff away. All right, let's stamp our, that is Highland Heather. Okay, so I gotta figure out which ones we got here. Okay, so we got this one here, so we're gonna stamp that there. And then we're gonna stamp it kind of down here. And then I think that was all I did of that one. We can go in and fill in some things as well. This we're going to do in some Granny Apple Green. We're going to stamp one right over here, right here, and then let's do one here, like that. Okay, we are going to take our butterfly and let's do that in Rich Razzleberry. I don't know why I always say Rich Razzleberry. It is Blackberry Bliss. If I ever say Rich Razzleberry, that's an old color I liked. That was a purple. It was a darker purple as well, but I, for whatever reason, cannot call Blackberry Bliss Blackberry Bliss. Okay. We're going to leave that out for just a second, but then we're going to take our yellow Daffodil Delight and we're going to do the center of our butterflies. We'll do there and there. All right. Then let's take our Highland Heather and we're going to take this little flower here. And we're just going to kind of stamp it in several different places. This is a good fill-in stamp. Then let's take some Lemon Lime Twist. Actually, let's take that Fresh Freesia again. And we're going to do this one right here. Let's go ahead and stamp that in a couple of different places. Okay. All right, so then let's take our Lemon Lime Twist and we're gonna do this little leaf here. We're gonna come here and then go there. And then let's come down here and do about there. And let's do one up like that. Okay, then we're gonna take that little flower that we just stamped with the Fresh Freesia and we're gonna go in with some Blackberry Bliss and we're gonna stamp it kind of in the center of that other flower, like that. Okay, and I think that is it. I think I got it all stamped. It's all covered and I like that. And I like the big ones that are there in the center with a little bit of glitter around it. If that all made sense. All right, then we're gonna attach this to our Blackberry Bliss cardstock. Right here. So we just kind of made our own designer series paper in the back. It's kind of what we did. We're gonna take some linen thread. We're gonna wrap it around because we still haven't gotten to the day that has the ribbon. So we're just kind of holding off till we get there. And of course, if you are purchasing this box, you are more than welcome to open all of them and start using them from the beginning. But I thought I would just kind of walk through each day separately, or at least 2 days at a time separately, and kind of show you projects that you can make with that. Because I know some people will wait and open them on the days they're supposed to. Okay, then we're going to take our scissors. We're going to trim there and there. And I've already cut out our little label die here. So we're going to stamp Proud of You in Blackberry Bliss. And we're going to do it in the center. All right. Then let's attach. Okay, this one is going to be popped up. And I've got more dimensionals. And think I just maybe grabbed too many. Oh, nope, just enough. All right, we'll take our backs off and then we're gonna put it on our card base. And stick that right there in the center, like that. This is gonna get popped up and we're gonna do edge pieces. So we're gonna go right about there and then right about there. Yep. This is gonna go down here. That'll go up there. Let's do that. And then we're gonna attach it over our linen thread like this. And we're gonna take our little puff embellishments. I was gonna say wherever I put them. And we're gonna do 2 flowers. So we're gonna do this one. It's gonna be 2 totally different ones than the other project. And then we're gonna do this one right here. Okay, then let's take our little gold dots here and let's add several of these. All right. So we'll grab our liquid glue. We're gonna put one here. One here, one here, one here, and one here. All right, so we're gonna take our flat end. Make sure you keep the cover on that, otherwise you might poke yourself. And I'm gonna get a little bit more goo. Okay, all right, so let's grab a big one and we're gonna put it right there. And ta-da. Then we'll grab a little one. Oh, that's a big one. We'll put this one down here. All right, this one will go here. Then let's kind of spread those out. This one will go here, down here in the bottom. And then let's do, we've got one more right here. All right, so there is card number 1 for today. And I'm gonna move this over because we're gonna use that again in just a second. So no reason to put them up yet. All right, I'm gonna set this aside on top of those, and then we're gonna pull in card number 2. All right, so I'm gonna need these. I'm gonna put those over there. This is card number 2, so we've got a little shaker. It's kind of like a little peekaboo shaker, I think is what we could call it for sure. But I loved the puffy stickers, and so I had to add them to this one. Just had to. All right. I'm gonna move those out the way. Okay, so this one we're gonna do a little die cutting. So I'm gonna go ahead and stamp our flower. And I'm going to use Petal Pink. We're going to stamp it down here in the corner like that. And then we need Daffodil Delight. We've got a stack of inks today for sure. Daffodil Delight for our center. And I have in the process lost the center let's see, it might be right over here still. Yep, there it is. It was behind me on the desk. All right, and then we're gonna stamp that right there, and we'll cut that out. And then the only other thing, I've already cut out our little leaves that we're gonna use, so we don't have to do that, but we will have to cut this piece. So we're gonna just move all this to the side real quick. We'll cut these out, and then we will do a little bit more stamping. I'm gonna bring this in. Let's do this first. And we're gonna go to our nested essential dies, and we're gonna go with this one here, which is the next to the largest. We're gonna attach there. We're gonna run that through. And ta-da, so there's our little peekaboo area. And then you've got a label that you can use for anything else. All right, let me put that back up. And then we're gonna cut out our little flower here. So we need our large one. Just making sure I put it back on the plate when I'm done. All right, so we're gonna line it up just like that. Run it through. And then we can set aside our machine. I'll leave this scrap paper over here on my desk because I've been using a lot of scrap paper for stamping. All right, I'm gonna put that back on there. Okay, so now let's do a little bit more stamping. We are gonna take this piece here. We're gonna take our secret C, and we are gonna stamp our sentiment right here. Let's see, let's go about right here. There we go, okay. Then let's stamp our front here. We're gonna take the heart and we're just gonna stamp kind of all over, and we're gonna stamp the heart in different directions too. Oop, eek. Let's see if I can get that. There we go. And then we're gonna come down here and do it. This isn't gonna be really shown down here in the corner. You'll just get a couple. So, but it's still nice to add just a little bit down here. Okay. And then let's do one more up this side here, like that. Okay. Then I'm just gonna take my finger and wipe where I stamped on my little table there so I don't get it on everything else. Okay, so now we've got that. We're gonna flip this over. We are going to attach our window sheet. So we're gonna take some liquid glue, and you can tell it's a little crooked, which is, it's okay. We're not gonna stress over it. And then we're gonna attach this right down there. I'm putting just a little pressure on it so it'll get that glue. All right, we're gonna set that aside for just a second. And when I say just a second, I really mean just a second, because there's not too much else to do. I probably should have done that part before doing the rest of the stamping, but it's all right. Okay, so we are going to take, finding all my pieces here, our card base, fold it in half. We're going to go ahead and attach our insert here. And then, ta-da, my husband just sneezed, so I don't know if y'all heard that or not. He is in the room next to me. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move forward with this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some adhesive strips, which I don't use very often, and we are going to create our shaker box. All right, we're gonna attach that one there. Take off one strip at a time. That's gonna go there. And that's real easy just to snip it. But we're just gonna go around the entire edge of the actual card. And then these little extra pieces here, we're gonna run along. Let's do it here. We're gonna get that to go there. Okay, and grab another one. Now we're gonna go up this side, and we're getting really pretty close to the edge because I don't want those gold pieces to go too far over. Because we want to be able to see all of them that we put in there. All right, so that's gonna go right there. This is gonna go right here. And we're gonna stick that right down in there. All right, and then that can go there. Grab one more. We're gonna put this here. And we're gonna put this down there. That's just gonna give it a little bit more stability because of the shaker. Let's actually see if we can take this. Nope, it's not gonna come off. I'm gonna stick this here. I'm gonna stick that there. Okay, all right, now we are going to take our little gold pieces. I'm gonna see if I can get all these up. And ta-da, now we need more than that because we want a lot. We want a lot of our little gold pieces, so we're just gonna pour a bunch more down in there. And then you're just gonna kind of make sure it's all flat. Okay. Let's add just a little bit more. You know, once you start putting shakers on, they kind of settle to the bottom. So let's make it a lot. All right, so then again, we're just gonna flatten it. Now I'm gonna stick my finger in a non-sticky space, and we're gonna take off all the ones that are close to our little shaker section. Just be careful because you can bounce it like that. That's what we're trying not to do. All right, now I have a piece of DSP from our actual box, and we're just gonna take this, kind of put it in whatever direction you want it to be. I want this to be the bottom. So we're gonna flip that over, and we are gonna stick it right here over our shaker. All right, and that has now sealed your shaker. And ta-da, there we go. And I like that many, I love that many in there. I think it makes it really pretty. Okay, so now what we can do is take off the rest of our little backings. And sometimes it's a little harder to get off the backings of our strips than it is our regular dimensionals. Okay, come on. There we go. It is not wanting to come off. Just one more. All right, perfect. Now we're going to put a little bit of liquid glue right there so that it will adhere to our card front. So just a little bit is all you need. Then we'll take our card front and we're going to adhere it in the center, just like that. Okay, and then we're going to take our sentiment. We're going to take our seal. We're going to adhere it right here to the bottom, like this. And I think I like that little extra heart up there. Here is our flower. So we're going to adhere this down, and it's going to go about like that. So we're going to put dimensionals on it. And let's do one more right there. Okay. Then we're going to take the backs off and we're going to adhere it. And it's going to go like this. Okay. Perfect. Then we're going to add our little leaves because this just kind of added a little extra. And I did put adhesive sheets on the back. So we're going to stick this one right here. Like that. We've got our other one. To do, ta-da. And this one's going to go right here. Like that. Okay, and then the next one, let's see, we're going to take our little ones and we're going to put them down here. I think I just moved my whole, there we go. I moved my whole tabletop thing. All right, this one is going to go right about here. This is going to go right here. Like that. All right, and then let's tie our bow really quick. Oop. And I went with Old Olive because I'm pretty sure this linen will retire when the catalog retires. So I want to use it as much as I possibly can. All right, and then we're gonna snip that. Grab a glue dot. We're going to adhere that underneath our, oops. Let me actually take my Take Your Pick tool, and we're going to pull this up and stick it under. There we go. Ta-da. Sometimes you gotta make it work for you. Okay, we are then going to take our little flowers. Yeah, let's do that next. We're gonna take our flowers. We are gonna take this little pink one right here, and we're gonna just put it at the end of our leaves, like that. And then we're gonna stick this one right about here. And then that one's gonna go right about there. All right, last but not least, let's add a couple more of these little gold embellishments, because these are fun. These really have been a lot of fun. I have used a good amount of them. All right, so we'll take our liquid glue. We're gonna add 5. So we're gonna do one here, one here, then 1, 2, and 3. Okay. All right, so we'll do one here, one here. Let's do this one here. Actually, let's do this one here. There, we'll do a big one right here, since that dot's a little bigger with that adhesive. And then let's do one more little one. All right. And then we'll put that one there. All right, there is card number 2 for today. All right, so we've got that one, and we've got this one, our little shaker. Okay, thank you all so much for joining me today. Here are all of the other cards we have. Sorry about that. You can see the theme I have going on with the Secret Sea, because I love it so much. And the cloud cover, of course, as well. So there are our, well, let's see, 6 cards that we have created so far. All right, everyone, I will have an upload for day 4, 5, and 6, and I will make sure that I share the link over here onto Facebook so that you've got it as well. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget that right now is our online Black Friday sale for Stampin' Up. So at this time you can get lots of good stuff. Things are selling out, so make sure if you want anything that you jump right on it. Okay, I will see you guys later. Thanks so much for joining. Bye.